Yeah, good morning. And where are we at today? Well, we're just a little ways away from the crossroads. If you can kind of see up through there, those two dirt clumps up there. That's where that condo is that we were talking about last week, I believe it was. And I'm walking around through the woods looking at fresh growth of clover and rapeseed, and orchard grass hasn't popped yet. It'll need to warm up a little bit before any of that takes place. But I'm walking down through here and shooting pictures and chatting with some people on Facebook, and I just happened to look down. And I tell you what, there's some, let's see if I don't know if I'm getting the camera in the right spot or not. But this one right here is the one that caught my eye. Can you see that? A brand new, fresh little clover sprout in that young deer track right there. And I'll tell you what, that ain't nothing. It really isn't. It's a single clover seed sprouted up in a deer track where a young deer had walked through. Oh, I'd say before the last rain, because the way it's all rounded off on the edges, it's not a fresh track by all means. It's not a real old one. But the symbolism there in my mind, and again, I don't do any drugs. I haven't had anything to drink in probably a year. So this is all natural. But the symbolism there of a fresh clover sprout in a young deer track, that's what makes my day. It really does. Getting out here and spending time in the woods and listening to nature. And I got a late start this morning. The sun was well up and in my eyes when I was driving out here. But watching nature wake up. Years ago, living in Kansas City, I lived on 24 Highway. Over maybe a half a mile or so east of 435, and people that know the area know the traffic. My house was 50 feet off of 24 Highway. It's a 4-lane highway. Got hundreds of thousands of cars drive up and down it every single day. And then you got 435, and I believe there was an entrance ramp there. So it's a funnel. And I tell you what, waking up there wasn't near as peaceful as waking up around here and spend a little bit of time out here in nature. In the Facebook chat today, Keith had mentioned I'd shot some pictures of this area, and we were discussing different things in these new trails. And Keith had mentioned, he says, man, it looks like it needs some cover, and it does. We're kind of down in a dry creek bed, if you will. This is probably the lowest spot over in this area. Probably over there is really the lowest spot. But we decided to push this trail through here, more of a travel corridor for the deer. There's a nice field back that way. There's a nice field back that way. There's a field on the other side of that ridge. It's getting better. We go up that hill up over there, and there's a really nice field of feed plots. And this kind of give them a little access through the woods, 3 different trails, cross right back there in the beginning or in the middle. And I got some trail cam pictures that I'll put up on Facebook later when I get to the house. We buried a mineral tub, an empty mineral tub, and using it as a water trough right there at the crossroads. And got a trail cam image of a young doe already making use of the water. And water is an important thing. Probably not as important as what some might think. I mean, I'm not a marine or a wildlife biologist, but the wildlife biologists that I've read their works will tell you that a deer will get 90-something% of the moisture requirements in their browse, providing the browse is there. Now, there's water sources on this property, but they're not great. Off the property where there's some ag land, where people are also running some cows, there's some better ponds. And our goal is to not have the deer come over here to eat in bed and then have to walk a mile that way to go get water, and then have to come back over. Now we know that they move around. Shoot a buck, he'll travel 3 miles, 4 miles a day. But the more we can hold right here in these woods, which isn't plumb center of the property, it's pretty close to it. The more we can hold right in here, the better opportunity my client will have to be able to harvest him a big buck. Anyhow, like I said, I saw that fresh clover sprout down inside of that semi-fresh deer track, and it made me laugh. It really did. It kind of got me tickled, and I wanted to share that with you. You guys have a great day, and as I mentioned before, you get out in the woods, get out here and enjoy this stuff. Be careful though, because you're in their house.